Welcome to episode 22 of A Minute with Mud. This one is on less. I was just listening to a song by Wookiefoot called Don't Hold Your Breath, and less, I'm thinking more and more, and for sure now, more and more, I'm thinking less and less, no stress. And on my way down here, it was kind of a fitting example. I found this antler here. There's a lot of deer over here. They're all over there, back over there, just munching. But these antlers get shed every year. Every year they shed them. Snakes shed their skin. People shed everything. Less is more. People actually live on oxygen and sunlight alone. Sometimes I think water might have to be at play with that. But the toxicity of all the excess that we have. For the first time since the quarantine, I went to Walmart because I had gotten my taxes back, which hopefully I can get my own internet and get really working on things, and get the hosting that I need so that I can work on the websites. But a lot of people are buying cartloads of stuff and things that are eventually going to be consumed, and they don't even need it. So I've been just as guilty. When I first had my house, I thought, keeping up with the Joneses or whatever they want to call it, it was have the nicest yard, buy all this stuff. That was in the early 2000s, so credit cards were pretty easy to get. Something about that was when telemarketers would call me, I didn't have the heart to tell them no. I was so empathetic that I would constantly have to say yes. And I remember my ex-wife saying, "Why don't you just say no?" And sometimes I'd have to hand the phone over to her. Eventually I did learn. It was kind of unusual for me at the time because I was so outspoken and so intimidating and intense that I don't know why I could never say no. The idea is less is best. Being a minimalist after all these years, and waking up from a coma and not having any recollection of anything. Having to bring my computer to Best Buy just so I could get back into it because I forgot my password and all that kind of stuff. It made the transition a lot easier for me. So I understand the complications with getting rid of things. And, my mom has always kind of been a hoarder in a way. And little by little throughout the years, I watch her get rid of stuff. And that makes me happy because the less you have in your environment, the more you will have within you. Look at this. This is, here's the view. Here's the view. I'll go slow. Sun's going down. It's a nice spring day today. So the whole concept of stocking up on things just to make sure you're going to survive is pretty foolish. We overeat. 3 times a day is not recommended. The only reason they recommend these diets is so that they can sell stuff and control us with the proceeds. So I've seen a bunch of people that were out of shape, ill health, buying all of these things, and it just kind of made me sad. And I've also had an overeating problem due to the imbalance of my gut bacteria because of the leaky gut and all of the aftercare from my coma. They gave me the strongest antibiotics and steroids to keep me alive, so I didn't quite get very good aftercare back in 2007. I know my little sister had gotten meningitis from the acne. I think she attributes it to the acne, and acne medication. And I also listened to a couple of other videos that confirm that in a way. Confirmation bias. We're all doing it. You can't tell me that gravity is gravity unless you've studied the whole science without being in a state of confirmation bias. So argue all you want on that one. But she was prescribed probiotics afterwards. I just was prescribed sleeping pills because I didn't sleep for days at a time. I didn't need to. My soul re-entered, or a new soul, or my soul re-entered my body with a whole buttload of passion and energy. And once I got my reason to live, which was to create as much harmony as possible before I die again, I was all at it. I remember trying to make millions of dollars because I had thought making money would do that. Well, obviously, we're going to end up with a new economic system after this and the whole crash of everything. And Rich Dad, Poor Dad, I listened to a video from him today about his new book, something about pensions disappearing and how that's a common thing. So everybody thinks they're safe with their 401k. They won't be. And how an ounce of silver is only $20, but people don't buy that stuff. They'd rather buy other things. I don't find the whole currency exchange is actually energy exchange. So Planet Perfect Days was designed on a business revolving around nature and the way nature works by give and take, give and receive over and over, win-win-win without ending. So, your guess is as good as mine on what they're going to try to propose. What I'm saying is that we cannot do it again. We cannot allow this hierarchy anymore. We have to come together as us. And I would love to hear anybody has a solution to this. I would love to hear any solutions, ideas, thoughts. I mean, we need to group up and get this sorted, because unless we do, we're just going to go back into the same method of control, and that'll just end again as well. So, I mean, it's kind of common sense that we need to stop doing what we're doing and realize that we have the technology to make things biodegradable, to use technology for a purpose rather than a destructive, like a life-affirming purpose rather than destruction. I mean, I don't know if most people know, but those Tesla batteries in our phones, all of that gets mined from minerals that people die every day mining. So, all the clothes from Walmart and all of these things. I remember living for a couple of years, about at least 2 years, I was just full of angst and anger and just disgust with humanity. Everybody that was around me was like, man, you're like a dark cloud. You're like a cloud, get into flow. And I had no idea what they were talking about, because I was like, what are you talking about? Don't you see what we're doing? And every little thing, I traced the roots and be so upset by it. And eventually I've had to let it go. I mean, I'm wearing clothes. I smoke cigarettes for now. I've done a lot of destructive behavior towards the planet, and so I'm not hating on anybody. I'm just saying that the solutions are already here. So until we start adapting those and using them to stop ruining everything, then we won't come together. Spring is coming. I've seen the woodpeckers, and there's a lot of crows around here. It's beautiful. where was I? So the destruction of things. Damn it. I was on to something there. But meditation, nature, just being quiet. The bus ride I had today, we could only sit in separate seats, and there was very few people on the bus. We had to go in the back door so that we didn't worry about the whole coronavirus. Yeah, that's what I was thinking, is we've got all this corona stuff on our minds right now, but the issues are still here. We're still going to have to clean up the environment. We're still going to have to start looking after each other, helping each other with all the nonprofits, encouraging them, rather than worrying about this whole vote for another puppet master and we get to be the puppets. For everybody who votes, every single person that votes is supporting their own destruction. This system is done. It's done. It's been done for years. And just because we don't have a whole different system, it doesn't mean we need to still keep following the same old destructive, outdated bullshit. So, I mean, somebody's got to come up with a better idea. I've got my own, which is fulfilling enough to me. I mean, for years I was like, oh, well, everybody says it'll work. You know, even my mother said it will work, and she is one distrusting woman. So when people finally say you're on to something or it'll work, one says it's like you're competing with God. And some teenager, and when I was working at Subway, he tells me it sounds like a whole new government. Somebody else said it sounds like a reverse Ponzi scheme. So to me, that was satisfying enough. And I was like, no, I'm not the chosen one. I don't want to do this crap. I'm nobody special. I just want to be normal. I just want to be like everybody else. Yet my heart's kind of like, well, if I'm like everybody else, then I'm just going to be like, let it burn. Blow up Yellowstone, which I seen an article yesterday about Yellowstone getting more active again. All these fear tactics, all these stay in fear. Fear is a death-dealing energy. Hope and love is a life-affirming energy. So you have life-death. Choose the path of fear or choose the path of love, like Don Miguel Ruiz with the Four Agreements and all the Toltec wisdoms and thousands of other correlations between living and dying. So do less, think less, speak less. Was real good advice for me. The only reason I felt like I needed to speak as much as I did is because nobody was listening to their own reason, in a way, and I just want to try to wake people up. But again, I learned a hard lesson of you can plant the seed, but it's up to them to grow it. I mean, you can assist people, but if they don't want help, I've been there myself. I was alcoholic for years, and everybody's like, you need to quit drinking, and now that I did, I mean, I've quit multiple times, so I don't really have a problem with it anymore. But I didn't think I did. I didn't think I did have a problem. I wasn't listening to anybody. My mom kept telling me, take care of yourself for these last 12 years. And it'd been since about a little over a year since I actually focused on taking care of me. Because I was just using that codependent, empathetic self and just doing the giving and burning myself out over and over and over. So, I mean, if you're doing those kind of things, we're all going to have to take a step back anyhow. That's what's happening. So, during this quarantine, I hope people are thinking about how to fix things or how to resolve things, how to just de-story destroy is de-story. Christy Marie Sheldon with Lover Above talks a lot about that. To delete, de-story, download and upgrade before it's too late kind of situation. Because once all this ends, are we going to go back to their care? Or are we going to care for us? Are we going to be in our own care of self and what it really means? And that's up to each individual to find it. So peace, love, blessings. Hopefully within the next 2 to 3 months, you can shy away from the fear, stop putting garbage into your mind, because that's what's going to come back. It's like Tom McDonald said, and that's that Hell of It song, if you eat at McDonald's, you're going to get fat. Or, This House, I think the name of the song is. It's pretty understandable. So, I don't know, ramble on, but I'm finding much more comfort in gaining my strength back with a little bit more wisdom. Like I said, I haven't pre-done any of these things, and I'm going to be working on my book tonight. I have quite a few of the first couple of chapters written in 2017 from a crazy narcissistic point of view when I was still doing meth at times. So I'll have to revise all that. But in the meantime, keep taking care of each other. This freak out stuff, I've seen plenty of it. People wondering this or wondering that, feeling entitled, being afraid. Well, find the center within. Peace, love, blessings. Take care of yourselves, take care of others.